Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back to Outlaws, Gunslingers, with your host Bang and Dang. Coming back here once again for our second installment of Hell's Angels.
Hell's Angels.
Of which here we got Sonny Barger, who isn't the founder per se, but he is the founder of the Oakland Chapter of the Hell's Angels, which became the headquarters or whatever of the whole thing and all that stuff. He was responsible for getting the club incorporated in 1966, also instrumental in getting chapters across the world, pretty much. And, regarded in the media as being the international head of the group, but denied it the whole time. But lots of crimes this guy was involved in, lots of stuff that went down, including the infamous Rolling Stones concert where the dude got stabbed to death when the Hells Angels were hired for security there. Yeah, this is going to be a long one. This is probably going to be upwards of an hour and a half there, guys, but it's worth it. It's got a good story. Good stuff here. Yeah. Before we get into it, go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network for shorts, clips, plus our YouTube exclusive Dart League, as well as if you join for 99 cents, you get this series, Outlaws and Gunslingers podcast as a whole, and our other podcast, Battles of the American Civil War, at least a day early. And if you don't mind waiting until it comes out, that's fine with us too. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, give us a review, share us with your friends, answer that Spotify question. Ralph Hubert Sonny Barger Jr., born October 8, 1938, he was born in Modesto, son of Catherine Carmela and Ralph Hubert Barger.
Oh.
His father had German and Dutch ancestry, and his mother was of Italian descent. Look at this guy. His mother left the family when Barger was 4 months old, leaving him and his older sister Shirley to be raised by their Pentecostal grandmother and alcoholic father, a day laborer who worked on the Oakland docks.
Okay.
Damn, she took off. She said, I don't want this life.
Time to roll. Barger grew up in Oakland in the post-war era, during which time the city's shipbuilding and automobile industries went into decline, leading to a significant rise in unemployment. Growing up, Barger was suspended from school several times for assaulting teachers. Oh, look at that. Beating up on the old teachers.
He was born in 1938. Post-war era, of course, yeah.
And he often fought with other boys. Makes sense. He dropped out of school in 10th grade. Although many of his school friends became drug addicts, Barger worked at a grocery store. And he enlisted in the United States Army at the age of 16 in 1955.
Oh, just in time for the Korean War, huh? He was given an honorable discharge 14 months later when it was discovered that he had forged his birth certificate in order to be, I was going to say, you can't join when you're 16 anyways.
He was given an honorable discharge?
I'm like, all right,
You're willing to put your life on the line.
Barger had liked the discipline, masculine camaraderie, and learning how to disassemble weapons. After his return from the Army, Barger drifted between menial jobs and lived with his father in a single residence at a hotel, later moving in with his sister and her children.
Oh. Fantastic. One of those guys, huh?
Right.
1956, Barger, he joined his first motorcycle club, the Oakland Panthers.
Right.
Which he founded with a group of fellow military veterans.
He's not even a veteran, though. I mean, I guess he did basic training.
Right. After the club disbanded, he started riding with another group of bikers, one of whom was Don Boots Reeves. He wore a patch that belonged to a defunct Nomads chapter of the Hells Angels in North Sacramento.
Oh.
I don't think you're allowed to still wear the patch, though, are you?
Oh, he's a nomad. He can do whatever he wants.
They went on to found their own Hells Angels Club on April 1st, 1957. They said, this is no joke. No fools here, baby.
We'll be no more. We'll be nomads no more.
Right. Each member wore the patch, a small skull wearing an aviator cap within a set of wings, later copyrighted as the Hells Angels Death Head logo, after having replicas made at a trophy store in Hayward.
Right. Barger was not the founder of the Hells Angels, as is often claimed, which was the group was founded in 1948, if you listen to our last episode about him. But he became its best-known member to such an extent that he's often misidentified as the founder. He and the Oakland Hells Angels were initially unaware that there were several other loosely affiliated clubs using the same name throughout California. How do you know? We proved that wrong already. Right. Founding members of the Oakland Hells Angels were basically honest, blue-collar or unskilled workers looking for excitement.
Right.
According to George Baby Huey Weatherin, who became the chapter vice president in 1960. He said that. He said, we were just
bunch of good
young
boys.
guys just riding our bikes around.
Bunch of good old boys riding on two wheels, baby. Unlike the World War II veterans who formed the early Hells Angels chapters, many of the founding members of the Oakland chapter were former servicemen with disreputable military records. Oh, that sucks. Barger described his chapter as a wild bunch.
A wild bunch.
Barger and the Wild Bunch. After a chance encounter with a member of the pre-existing Hells Angel chapter, Barger learned of the club's history, rules, and regulations and procedures. He was then appointed president of the Oakland chapter in 1958, following a series of meetings with Hells Angels from Southern California.
Oh, so they're like, this is actually like a thing.
Right. He's like, oh.
Oh, well, with Barger as president, the Oakland Hells Angels traveled around California and amalgamated with the other Hells Angels chapters, dividing territory and forming club bylaws.
Fantastic.
While infighting did occur between the chapters, conflicts predominantly arose with other clubs such as the Gypsy Jokers.
Right.
When Otto Friedli, the founder of the original San Bernardino Hells Angels chapter, he went to prison in 1958, Barger was proclaimed de facto national president.
Oh.
One of his first actions was to relocate the club's mother chapter, or the national headquarters, from San Bernardino to Oakland, where it remains to this day, actually.
Right. He's like, we got to bring that shit here. Bring that shit here. Later that very year, Barger suffered a fractured skull during a fight with Oakland police.
Got beat with a billy club, I bet.
Although the basic organization was in place when Barger assumed leadership of the club, he introduced additional rules pertaining to new members, club officers, and the establishment of new members.
Or chapters.
Under Barger's leadership, the club's membership began to increase. By 1960, the Oakland Hells Angels had established an extensive narcotics network within the club.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Some of the Barger's rules included no using dope during the meeting and no drug burns or rip-offs. I mean, you sell them right.
Right, or you buy them right.
Right. The Hells Angels worked as part-time distributors of drugs in the 1950s and early 1960s. That's where they've messed up.
All right. Well, according to George Weathern, who left the Hells Angels in 72 and went on to testify against the club before entering the Federal Witness Protection Program, he wrote a book in 1978 called A Wayward Angel. He says Barger convened a meeting of the leaders of the Hells Angels and other California motorcycle clubs in 1960, in which the various clubs parlayed over the mutual problem of police harassment.
Right.
The clubs voted to ally under a 1% patch to be worn on their respective colors. The terms refer to a comment, we all know what 1%ers mean.
Right. Wow. 1961, Barger opened the first Hells Angels chapter abroad. He did that in New Zealand.
Damn.
The Oakland chapter, with Barger serving as his president, assumed an informal position of authority within the Hells Angels that began following a confrontation with Loco Popo and the California Highway Patrol.
Remember that show?
Chips.
Oh. There was like a reality show back in the day, California Highway Patrol. It was like Cops, but with California Highway Patrol.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We watch it all the time. Or you not remember?
Maybe. In the aftermath of the Outlaw motorcycle meeting in Portersville in September 1963, that's when that conversation happened with the Loco Popo. Although always a predominantly male organization, the Hells Angels had female members as well until 1964 when Barger imposed a rule making the club men only. The Female Women Hater Club, or what was it called?
Female Women Hater Club. Yeah. He justified the male only rule on the grounds that female Hells Angels were less able.
He-Man Women Haters
He-Man,
Club.
Right. Oh, same thing. He says the male only rule is good because women are less able to defend themselves against rival bikers seeking to steal their patches. Right. Barger was employed as a machine operator from 60 to 65 when he was dismissed due to extended absences.
Yeah.
He still had a regular job, huh? Well, it's like, we'll see George Christie. He was employed by the Department of Defense with the government until they found out he was with the Hells Angels.
Crazy.
So his criminal record began in 1963 after he was arrested for possession of marijuana.
Oh.
He was arrested once again on the same charge the following year and for assault with a deadly weapon in 65 and 66.
Oh, it just keeps on getting worse.
Might as well.
Oh, wow. The 1965 incident, he forced his pistol into a bar patron's mouth after the man had made disparaging remarks about the Hells Angels.
Oh, come on now.
Barger claims the gun fired by accident, but wrote in his 2000 autobiography, Hells Angel, The Life and Times of Sonny Barger and the Hells Angels Motor Club.
I mean, come on, but you guys,
Right.
it's too long.
Right. He wrote this: since the motherfucker was already shot in the head, I bent him over the pool table and shot him again.
Well, geez, and he only got charged for fucking assault with a deadly weapon?
Oh, my.
So he's lying.
Right. Barger was convicted of assault with intent to moita. Damn. When a rival club of bikers stole Barger's motorcycle, ooh, you don't do that. That's like horse stealing right there.
Right. I steal horses.
Right. He and his members assaulted them with spiked dog collars.
Oh, probably wrapped around their fists, punching the shit out of them, huh?
They were whipped with bull whips. And finally, they used ball-peen hammers to break their frickin' fingers. Dang, these guys are worse than the frickin' mob.
Right. The Oakland Hells, this is everything we wanted the Mafia to be.
Right.
The Oakland Hells Angels maintain a prominent position as first among equals by having the largest membership of any U.S. chapter and because of Barger's esteem among club members internationally. The author and journalist Hunter S. Thompson wrote in his 1967 book Hells Angels, The Strange and Terrible Saga of the Outlaw Motorcycle Gangs, that in any gathering of Hells Angels, there is no doubt who is running the show.
Oh.
He described Barger as a 6-foot, 170-pound warehouseman from East Oakland, the coolest head in the lot, and a tough, quick-thinking dealer when any action starts. And he said of him, by turns, he is a fanatic, a philosopher, a brawler, a shrewd compromiser, and a final arbitrator. Barger continually denied that he was Hells Angels leader or that Oakland was the club's headquarters. However, he said, there's no charter that's the boss. That's all cops and newspapers.
Oh. Okay.
But we know.
Right. Barger and Hells Angels, many of whom were military veterans, as we've said it 500 fucking times, we'll say it again, consider themselves anti-communist.
Good for them.
And anti-subversive.
Right.
Patriots.
1964.
Barger and another Hells Angel, Michael Tiny Walters, told an Oakland Tribune columnist, "Our oath is allegiance to the United States of America. If there should be trouble, we would jump to enlist and fight.
I bet they would.
More than 90% of our members are veterans. We do not want no slackers."
So what did they do in the 70s when the fucking war?
Vietnam in Vietnam.
They were all too old by then anyways, 40 years old.
Right.
Barger was at least. When students of the University of California, Berkeley announced an anti-Vietnam War rally, Oakland Angels, the Oakland Hells Angels denounced the rally as a despicable, un-American activity.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, where are these guys now with the fucking Columbia and NYU and all this shit?
16th of October, 1965, Barger, he led a group of Hells Angels in an attack on anti-war demonstrators marching from Berkeley to the Army terminal in Oakland to protest against munitions shipments.
How do they think this is going to end up? It's the 60s, too.
Right. The Oakland police reportedly stood aside and let the attack commence.
Oh, so not much has changed in California, huh?
Whereas the Berkeley police intervened to stop the bikers from assaulting protesters.
Of course.
It is Berkeley. 6 Hells Angels members were arrested, and a Berkeley police sergeant suffered a broken leg in the brawl. Damn. Damn.
Most likely it was like brawling and fell awkwardly or something.
Okay.
Unless somebody stomped on his fucking leg.
Fell awkwardly on a bat. A swinging bat.
Right.
The Angels maintained that the attack
fell on the bat 3 or 4 times.
The Angels maintained that the attack was done in the interest of public safety and the protection of the good name of Oakland, California, which they proudly believed that at that time.
So the incident led to a collection of students, left-wing political organizations, and labor unions led by Allen Ginsberg and Jerry Rubin. They met with the motorcycle club representatives headed by the president of the Sacramento Hells Angels in a cafeteria at San Jose State University. Ginsberg and Rubin sought assurance that a planned Vietnam Day committee protest in Oakland on November 20th would not be disturbed. Ginsberg invited Barger and the Oakland Hells Angels to a party where he provided the bikers with free alcohol, drugs, and sex in exchange for their guarantee that the rally would not be attacked.
We will not be bought.
I bet you they were. Well, no, they probably took all that shit and still fucking...
Right.
Hopefully.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that. That's cool. On the 19th of November, 1965, 5 Hells Angels led by Barger held a press conference at their bail bondsman's office, announcing that the club would not attend the protest the following day as any physical encounter would only produce sympathy for this mob of traitors.
True.
According to Barger, that's what he said. He went on to read aloud a telegram sent to President Lyndon B. Johnson, stating this: "I volunteer a group of loyal Americans for duty behind the line in Vietnam. We feel that a crack group of trained guerrillas could demoralize the Viet Cong and advance the cause of freedom." You would think wrong.
Right.
Because the United States is well over their head
I
on
don't
that.
care how trained your gorillas are. You're stepping into a trap that has spikes.
And President Johnson was like, "I don't think this guy knows what he's talking about." Oh, let's just toss that away.
Pretend we never got that.
He did not reply.
After the spate of publicity the Hells Angels received in 1965, Barger had the club's name copyrighted.
Oh,
right?
shit.
He's like, now people are going to try to use my shit. The Hells Angels were incorporated as a non-profit organization in 1966. Well, Barger's and the Hells Angels become associated with the counterculture phenomenon of the 60s. Between 66 and 73, the majority of his legitimate personal income was derived from consulting various film projects.
Oh, fantastic.
He acted as a technical advisor on a series of outlaw biker films, beginning with Roger Corman's The Wild Angels.
Fantastic.
And
Oh, biker film, 1966, huh? I wonder what that's about.
based on the
Spaghetti biker films? They're spaghetti bikers.
They call themselves the Wild Angels.
Wild Angel.
And inspired the biker film genre that continued into the 70s.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of biker films.
Oh, Nancy Sinatra's in it, huh?
Oh, that makes sense. But it's terrible.
Oh, and Peter Fonda.
Oh, you know he's got to be in it.
So it was a decent little movie then, huh? Probably.
He's like, my dad made westerns. I'm gonna make bikesterns, bikerns. On screen, Barger was identified, but did not speak in Hell's Angels on Wheels in 1967, and it was one of several members of the Angels who had speaking parts playing themselves in Hell's Angels 1969.
Motherfuckers are making movies and shit.
Right.
Damn.
That was in 1969 when that came out. He appeared in several additional films as well. Barger features prominently in Hunter S. Thompson's book, Hell's Angels.
Well, it had a little bit of a longer title, but...
Right. He was unimpressed with Thompson.
Oh.
And said of the writer this: when he tried to act tough with us, no matter what happened, Hunter Thompson got scared. I ended up not liking him at all. A tall, skinny, typical hillbilly from Kentucky. He was a total fake.
That's probably why he ended up shooting himself in the face.
Oh, no, Thompson.
Barger and the Hells Angels are also depicted in Tom Wolfe's The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test in 1968 during Ken Kesey's La Honda encampment.
Oh.
Okay. Using his fame, Barger opened a chapter in Omaha, Nebraska in 1966.
Might as well.
Which, besides the chapter in New Zealand, was the first Hells Angels chapter outside of California.
No shit.
Wow. 1967, Barger opened a Hells Angel chapter in Lowell, Massachusetts, which was the first Hells Angel chapter on the East Coast.
Oh, damn, that's all you needed right there.
Coming there. Coming for you.
Wow, during the Summer of Love in San Francisco, 1967.
Summer of Love.
The Hells Angels began to sell PCP,
Why not?
which came to be known as Dust of the
Or
Angels,
Angel Dust, right?
or DOA for short. PCP.
I didn't know you like to get wet.
Right. PCP came to be popular with the hippies during the Summer of Love, owing to its ability to cause hallucinations, and Angels came to dominate the market for PCP in the Bay Area. Barger, he later admitted that besides selling PCP, his chapter used to move most of the LSD in the San Francisco area as well.
PCP and LSD, two different things. But
Right.
Acid.
Right, LSD fuck you up. So PCP. Selling PCP made the Angels wealthy for the very first time.
Wow.
And according to the Federal Bureau of Investigation,
Boo-roo.
Agent Tom McKinley, who often investigated Hells Angels related cases, it was in 1967 that the Angels become a major criminal organization in their own right. They're rivaling
Well, you had the Mafia on the East Coast, and you got these guys primarily on the West Coast over here.
right.
Well, prior to 67, the Angels had been used as subcontractors for other criminal organizations who used them to distribute cocaine and marijuana. With PCP, the Angels created a vertical monopoly. As PCP lost popularity, the Hells Angels switched to selling meth.
Oh my
A market that they have dominated ever since. Yeah, bikers and meth are like one and one, dude.
It's crazy.
Barger recruited Kenny Maxwell, a former chemist, for the Royal Dutch Shell Oil Company, who taught the Angels how to make meth.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow. Well, that's nice.
Why doesn't he have a blue thing?
Right. For at least 5 years, beginning in 1967, Barger and the Angels surrendered hundreds of guns and hundreds of pounds of explosives, as well as locations of caches of weapons and narcotics to the Oakland Police Department in exchange for the release of jailed Hells Angels members and other considerations from authorities. And you little snitches.
We'll take cash and other considerations, please.
Yeah, player to be named later. Wow, look at these little snitches.
Well, I mean, might as well, right? Trying to get you guys out. Here, you want this sawed off? Who cares?
You want this on off? Yeah, these little Low-level drug dealers.
And Oakland's like, yeah, we got all these guns off the street. Yeah, they got warehouses full of them still.
You ain't kidding. Oakland and Berkeley suffered a spate of approximately 80 bombings in the late 60s.
Yeah, these bikers like to bomb.
And police made the arrangement with the Angels in order to acquire black market weapons, which could otherwise be used by subversives such as the Black Panthers and Weather Underground radicals.
Oh, these Weather Underground.
Oh, they're weird.
I'm surprised we haven't done one yet. But
the Black
so they're
Panther.
saying the Hells Angels are giving them bombs so they can keep them out of the hands of the Black Panthers and the Weather Underground?
Right.
All right. The Angels were dealing in weapons which were stolen from armories and gun stores or smuggled from abroad. Oakland Police Sergeant Edward Ted Hilliard testified in 72 that he accepted guns, dynamite, and grenades from Barger personally in return for deals on arrests during at least 15 separate meetings.
No shit.
Oh, what a fucking wow. The most recent of which would occurred at spring of 71.
Wow.
Hilliard also testified that Barger had offered to deliver the bagged body of a leftist for every angel released from jail.
Oh.
Jeez. An offer Hilliard refused as it was absolutely out of the question.
He's like,
sure.
How can I get away with this? I can't.
Barger denied ever making such an offer.
I bet he did.
Hilliard insisted, however, that authorities had not permitted crimes committed by the Hells Angels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. Come on, you guys are just local guys when you got the CIA and all this shit planning hits on foreign leaders with the mafia and shit.
Right. Get the hell out of it. The first internal murder of the Hells Angels member, sanctioned by the club, was allegedly carried out when Paul German Ingalls, a member of the Oakland chapter who had previously transferred from the Omaha chapter, was found guilty of burglarizing Barger's valuable coin collection. Oh no. Anybody by his.
Right, why would you do that?
Right. He found guilty by a 6-man kangaroo court at the home of a Hells Angels member on the 1st of February, 1968.
If you guys don't know what a kangaroo court is, basically a court set up where you're guilty before you even get in there.
It's just a formality.
Right.
Ingalls was forced to ingest a large quantity of barbiturates until he suffered a fatal overdose.
I bet you.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, he's probably feeling good for a minute.
Right. Jeez.
In the late 60s, Barger began selling heroin and also developed an addiction to cocaine.
Oh, man.
He was described as being totally crazed on cocaine for a time. Well, of course. Barger was allegedly the main distributor of cocaine and heroin in the East Bay area. He was among 33 members of the Oakland chapter arrested on drug charges after police raided a bar and duplex apartment in the city of in Oakland on August 30th, 1968. $7,000 worth of heroin and $2,500 worth of other narcotics were confiscated, as were firearms, including an M16 rifle, 2 shotguns, and an M1 carbine.
Damn.
Oh, my. And a large cache of weapons or ammunitions, knives, and chains, and suspected stolen merchandise. During this period, Barger's first wife, Elsie May, died on February 1st, 1967 from an embolism in her bloodstream after undergoing an illegal abortion. Was Gosnell her fucking guy?
You ain't kidding, right? Damn, ain't that crazy how this goes into the next?
Right.
Wow. The year 1969, Barger began a relationship with Sharon Gruelke, a former beauty queen from Livermore. Barger married Sharon while he was incarcerated at the Folsom State Prison in 1973.
A little spoiler alert.
The marriage ended in divorce.
Not so much of a spoiler.
30th of July, 1969, Barger opened up the first Hells Angels chapter in Europe, with a chapter being founded in London, obviously, followed by another in Zurich in 1970.
All right.
1969, he opened up Hells Angels chapter in New York, Salem, and Rochester, giving the Angels a strong presence in the Northeast.
I wonder how that New York one went over with the mafia.
Right. Barger was one of the Angels present at the Rolling Stones Altamont Free Concert on the 6th of December, 1969, at which the bikers were reportedly given $500 of beer to provide security. Concert goers and musicians alike were subjected to violence from the Angels.
$500 of beer in 1969, that's probably a lot of fucking beer.
Damn, concert goers and the musicians were subjected to violence from the Angels, including Marty Ballin of Jefferson Airplane, who was knocked unconscious.
Oh, no.
And an audience member, Meredith Murdoch Hunter, who was stabbed to death. Damn.
Yeah,
how does a random audience guy have a nickname, Murdoch?
Barger admitted in his autobiography that Hells Angels had beat the fuck out of them, who are the people attending the concert. One of the Hells Angels pointed, because you know how these guys are they're probably drunk LSD and all this shit, doing mosh pits and shit, bumping into some Hells Angels guys, probably getting punched in the face. One of the Hells Angels pointed a gun at Keith Richards when he wanted to leave the stage owing to the violence in front of him.
Oh, shit.
Barger claimed to have been sitting on stage drinking beer when the violence was taking place. As a result of critical media attention given to the Hells Angels after the concert, he went on KSAN, a local Bay Area radio station, to justify the actions and to present their side of the story.
He asserted that violence only started once the crowd began vandalizing the Angels' motorcycles.
Probably could have happened.
Barger would later state that Hunter would fire a shot that struck a Hells Angels member with what he describes as just a flesh wound. Barger maintained that the Rolling Stones were ultimately responsible for the violent events that took place, saying that they agitated the crowd, had the stage built too low, and then used us to keep the whole thing boiling. They got exactly what they wanted. A dark, scary atmosphere to play sympathy for the devil.
Oh, Dijon was just a shadow away.
He went on to say...
Shadow... Is that the song?
Maybe.
Wait, it was like... That's a song that's used in like every Vietnam movie, right?
Yeah. He went on to say, just because you sing well doesn't mean you can act like a bunch of assholes to your fans. And that's what they did that very night at Altamont.
He also blamed the Rolling Stones' extended delay before making an on-stage appearance for worsening the hostility of the crowd, and said the Hells Angels refused to act as bodyguards for a bunch of sissy, marble-mouthed prima donnas when the band asked the bikers to escort them to the stage.
Oh, wow.
He also claimed that he stuck a gun into Keith Richards' side to force the Rolling Stones to keep on playing through the riot despite the band's misgivings.
Shit. No, motherfucker, you're on the Titanic.
You stay here.
You're on the
gonna go down with the
Titanic.
ship, bitch. Barger took umbrage with what he felt was the Stones' refusal to take responsibility for the catastrophe, and he said in the days after the concert, Mick Jagger, he put it all on us. He used us for dupes.
Oh, man. You know, fucking Mick Jagger. Barger appears in documentary film about the Altamont Free concert, Gimme Shelter.
Gimme Shelter.
That happened in 1970.
Give me shelter. Right.
Reflecting on the Altamont concert, which had been referred to variously as the end of the hippie dream and the day the 60s died. It's 1970, so.
69 was when it happened.
All right. Barger wrote in his autobiography, all that shit about Altamont being the end of an era was a bunch of intellectual crap. The death of Aquarius. Bullshit. It was the end of nothing. Altamont may have been some big catastrophe to the hippies, but it was just another Hells Angels event to me.
He could give a shit.
Right.
After Altamont, Barger sought to expand the Hells Angels and improve the club's image. He said, "We got to go on a PR run now."
Right.
Members who were of little value to the Hells Angels were drummed out, and intravenous drug use was banned by the club. No more heroin, guys. Yeah. Barger also stripped the Hells Angels' colors of offensive patches, such as Nazi regalia and various colored wings awarded to members as a reward for sexual adventures performed in the presence of other members.
Damn, awesome.
The club also hired public relations specialists and began participating in charity fund drives. We're trying to be the good guy bikers.
Shit. The dispute between the Angels and the Rolling Stones was compounded when the band refused to compensate the Angels for $50,000 in legal fees accrued by the club in the trial of Alan Pissarro, who was acquitted of Meredith Hunter's murder on the grounds of self-defense. March 1983, Clarence Butch Crouch, a founding member of the Hells Angels Cleveland chapter, he testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee that the club had an open contract on members of the Rolling Stones. Oh, damn. Jeez. And made 2 failed attempts on the life of Mick.
2 failed attempts, huh? How do you make a failed attempt on Mick Jagger?
Right.
Everywhere. You guys are shitty assassins.
Can you imagine that would have happened, dude? Well, the longest rock band would have been no more.
Sucks to be them. For better or worse. Which one are we? Barger subsequently called a press conference to deny Crouch's testimony.
Right.
He again refuted the claims of a murder contract on Jagger in an interview with Phoenix New Times in 92, saying, "I personally don't like the guy, but that doesn't mean I want to kill him."
Right.
There are 7 Hells Angels chapters in England, and he comes over here a lot. If there was a contract out on him, he'd be dead.
Right.
It's that simple. He wouldn't still be singing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense.
Come on.
Barger referred to 1970s as gangsta era for the Hells Angels, writing in his autobiography.
Well, coincidentally, it was for the Mafia, too.
Yeah. He says, the clubs tried to take our reputations from us. The blacks and Latinos didn't like us. White people were scared of us. Hippies no longer dug us. Rednecks couldn't stand us either.
Damn.
Everybody hated us. We became isolated. Damn.
I doubt maybe, I don't know.
During this period, Barger's main lieutenants were Russian,
Right.
Sergei Walton, James Jim Brandis,
Hey, Jim.
and Kenneth K.O. Owen.
Oh, shit. Original KO of it is.
Right. A police report from April 1970 stated this: the subject, which is Barger, is influential with motorcycle clubs all across the nation.
I bet he is.
Barger has been employed for years and is yet seen with large amounts of money.
What, are we going to get a fucking tax evasion?
Right. The money may come from dues he collected from his own chapter and the franchise money he obtains from chapter charters he has sold in various states. It is known that all Hells Angels deals extensively in the narcotic trade.
Yeah, but he made a bunch of movies for money, or bunch of movies for money. He made a bunch of money from movies in the 60s. You tell me they wouldn't have none of that left?
Right. April 11, 1970, Barger was arrested on narcotics charges after Donald Holworth, a film studio property manager in 1967 Mr. America from Studio City, was apprehended while walking towards Barger's home with a suitcase containing 17 ounces of cocaine, 30 ounces of heroin, with an estimated retail worth of $350,000.
He was walking towards his home. Who said he was going there?
All right.
Well, Barger temporarily resigned as president of the Oakland Chapter in June 70 to fight the charges, but returned to the position within months after his successor, Johnny Angel Palomar, was sentenced to a 10-year prison term for shooting a bartender.
Oh, what an idiot.
The drug charges against Barger were later dismissed.
Okay.
He was, however, sentenced to 90 days in jail after walking out of a court session.
Oh, contempt.
Holworth was convicted and sentenced to serve 5 years of life. Well,
Oh, damn,
that's
he
a
did.
hell of a discrepancy. He probably did 7.
Maybe.
Right, just because he's walking to somebody's house doesn't mean
Right.
nothing.
They're just trying to get him on anything.
Right.
22nd January 1972. Barger and 4 other angels, Russell Baya, Bobby Dirt England, Oakland Gary Popkin, and Bert Stephenson. They were traveling through Redwood Regional Park in 2 cars, which was a Pontiac and a Cadillac. When they were pursued in a high-speed chase by park rangers who suspected that they stole their picnic baskets.
Barger's like, hey, Oakland.
Hey, dirt.
Like, but Barger, what about the park rangers?
Well, the park rangers suspected that the angels were poaching.
Poaching what?
Right. The Pontiac struck a tree after his tires were shot out by pursuing park rangers.
These park rangers weren't fucking around.
Damn. And England and Stephenson fled into the brush, only to be apprehended later. Discovered in the trunk of Pontiac were 3 club prospects: William Hood, Russell Huddleston, and Danny Charman. They weren't poaching. They were trafficking.
What the hell? Well, Hood and Jarman have been bound, gagged, and beaten, while Huddleston has survived having his throat cut. What?
Oh, shit.
Barger, Baya, and Popkin were arrested after the Cadillac was chased for 4 miles by convergent police. Various objects were thrown from the Cadillac during the pursuit, including 4 handguns, a shotgun. Why do you throw these stuff?
Right.
A shotgun, surgical gloves, and a belt with an ammunition pouch and a silver buckle engraved with the caption, Sonny Barger Jr., 1957 to 67, President, Hells Angels, Oakland.
Okay.
What? Why did they kill these guys for? Or they tried to. Anyways, dude got his throat cut.
Oh, Barger and the others were charged with attempted murder, kidnapping, and assault with a deadly weapon. Hood and Jarman told police that the incident was merely an initiation hazing.
They just cut my throat.
Right, amidst claims by the Hells Angels attorneys Jack Berman and Herman Mintz of insufficient evidence and an illegal search by arresting officers. All 5 defendants pled guilty to a lesser charge of unlawful imprisonment.
Oh, jeez.
Holy shit.
Along with fellow Hells Angels member Sergei Walton, Donald Dwayne Whitey Smith, and Oakland Gary Popkin, Barger was charged with the May 21st, 72 murder of Servio Winston Aguirre, who was a drug dealer from McAllen, Texas, who had traveled to Oakland with a consignment of narcotics for sale.
No.
Which allegedly occurred following a dispute over an $80,000 cocaine deal.
Oh, shit.
A prosecution witness, Richard Evaldi, testified that he witnessed Barger shoot Aguirre dead as he slept at the home of an absent acquaintance, and that Barger subsequently ordered the others to set fire to the residence.
Oh, shit. Damn. According to Barger's chief attorney, James Crew, Evaldi himself was involved in the conspiracy to kill Aguirre. And knowing he was a prime suspect and fearing retaliation from the Texas Mafia, he tried to blame it on the Hells Angels. Barger was also provided with an alibi from his girlfriend, Sharon, who would be his wife, who claimed she was in bed with him at the time of the murder. Couldn't it be?
Like he was eating this pussy so good.
Right.
Fuck you, cops.
Right. The killing of Figueroa was one of the 5 possibly linked murders committed in the area around that time. 3 men, drug dealers Kelly Patrick Smith, Willard Thomas, and Gary Kemp, an acquaintance of Aldi, were found shot to death in a house near San Leandro, the day after Aguero's murder. Oh, shit. And the body of a woman, Karen S. Long, was discovered in the trunk of a car in Oakland on May 26, 1972. Damn.
Evaldi had led investigating detectives to the location of the automobile in which Long's corpse was found. John Joseph Devaney, Long's former husband. He was also found dead in a car in Hayward, June 14, 1972.
Oh, shit.
In apparent suicide by carbon monoxide.
Hey, I'm sure.
During the trial, Ted Hilliard, Barger's handler in the Oakland police, and Barger himself testified that he had been cooperating with police for over 5 years in return for deals on arrest, bail reductions, and other considerations. He just outed himself as a fucking snitch, pretty much.
Right. Holy shit. Well, Barger went on to explain, if we come into possession with guns and explosives, we don't like to keep them around. We turn them in hoping that the police will do something for us. Well, I guess. Scratch, scratch.
Right.
Itch, itch. He also admitted being a drug dealer under questioning from the prosecutor in the case, District Attorney Don White. Wow.
Okay.
December 29, 1972, Barger and his 3 co-defendants were acquitted following a 7-week trial after Evaldi's credibility came under scrutiny.
Wow. December 1972, police bypassed a 6-foot fence and Doberman Pinscher guard dogs to raid Barger's home in Oakland Hills, finding 8 guns throughout the house and an unidentified human skull on a dresser.
Oh, shit.
At Barger's trial for narcotics and weapons offenses in February 73, the jury has read Barger's testimony from his 72 murder trial, in which he admitted to dealing drugs.
Oh, shit.
March 16, 73, he was sentenced to a prison term of 10 years to life after he was convicted of possession of narcotics for sale, which was 37 grams of heroin.
Damn.
And possession of a weapon by a convicted felon.
Oh, shit. I did it right there.
That.
Oh, no. His future wife, Sharon, was a co-defendant. Her case ended in a mistrial when a jury failed to reach a verdict. As a result of his imprisonment, Barger was forced to relinquish his presidency of the Oakland Chapter for the very first time since its inception.
That's not true, because he stepped down for a minute.
Right. According to police intelligence reports, he had designated San Jose Chapter President Fillmore Cross as his international successor during a motorcycle run at Bass Lake prior to his imprisonment. Krause, he was also imprisoned for possession of amphetamines in 1975, and Barger allegedly continued to lead the Angels from his cell at Folsom State Prison. He was like, oh, come on, I'm trying to let you guys do this shit here, but...
Hells Angels and members of other motorcycle gangs formed a clique in the California State Prison, which acted somewhat autonomously from the Aryan Brotherhood, which was the dominant white prison gang in California.
Yeah, they mess with Aryans.
One prison official described the status of bikers in the prison system as they originally stay out of things. They provide a balance in the racial conflicts. When trouble starts with the Chicanos or the blacks, the Angels join up with the other whites, obviously.
Right.
Barger befriended Mike Acha Isan, who was a leader in the Mexican Mafia at Folsom, though.
That's cool.
In the laundry room, like American History X.
Right, happens, man. Jeez, Barger began studying sociology in prison. During his incarceration, a Bikers magazine ran a Free Sonny Barger campaign, selling T-shirts and bumper stickers, which helped pay his legal expenses.
Good for him.
Fantastic. Barger, he gave series of interviews, included one with Geraldo Rivera.
This fucking guy.
Right, for his Good Night America television program, in which he portrayed himself as a model prisoner, and he said this, "They gotta let me out sometime." April 1977, Barger won an appeal to face a retrial on a prior marijuana possession conviction. Oh, there it is again, trying to do that, wait till your shit's done and we got another charge.
All right, well, his acquittal on that case made him eligible for parole.
Oh, fantastic.
At the California Supreme Court ruled that a 5-year waiting period attached to his sentence due to the prior marijuana conviction was unconstitutional.
Right.
He was paroled November 3rd, 1977, after serving 4.5 years of his sentence.
Oh.
December 5th, 1977, Barger opened the first Hell's... He's like, I'm going to go open some more chapters. The first one in Canada, which was in Montreal, and awarded the Canadian Hells Angels national president Yves Labas Batu the right to wear a Hells Angel jacket with the word international written on the bottom.
All right.
Which was a great honor within the world of the Hells Angels, where jackets normally list only the state in which the Hells Angels live in.
Right.
So I'm an international motherfucker.
October 28, 1978, Barger opened the first Angels chapter in Netherlands with Willem van Boxtel serving as the president of the Amsterdam chapter. The Amsterdam chapter under Boxtel's leadership was to become the most powerful Hells Angels chapter in Europe.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to them.
Barger was arrested on a parole violation charge of possession of firearms when police officers discovered a 9mm semi-automatic pistol, a .38 caliber revolver, and a rifle after arriving at his Oakland home on the 27th of March, 1978, to serve a subpoena and to conduct a parole search.
Oh,
come
yeah,
on.
right.
The case was dismissed when Barger's wife, Sharon, testified that the guns belonged to her.
But he's not supposed to be
Around them.
them.
They're like, oh, they're yours? Okay. Whatever.
Barger and his wife were among 33 members and associates of the Hells Angels Oakland, San Francisco, Marin County, San Jose, Los Angeles, and Vallejo chapters indicted on RICO statutes on June 13, 1979.
Damn.
He and 15 others were arrested during a series of raids carried out in the Bay Area by around 200 DEA agents, plus ATF guys. The indictments followed 2 car bombings targeting law enforcement officers in Northern California, which were blamed on the Angels.
I bet they were. Oh, son of a bitch. The bombings prompted the California Department of Justice to issue a warning to Popo departments that the Angels were engaged on a campaign to eliminate law enforcement personnel who investigated their drug activities. The RICO case against the Angels was the most substantial effort in federal history against the club at the very time. And it charged the defendants with various crimes dating back to 1971.
No statute of limitations on RICO?
Shit. Including manufacturing and distributing meth, conspiring to commit moida, assault, use of false identification.
Gotta throw that in there.
Intimidation, and also bribery.
Barger was held on $1 million bail.
Damn.
And spent 14 months in San Francisco County Jail before and during the trial.
Damn.
In a jailhouse interview with Cynthia Gorney of the Washington Post, October 79, Barger stated, "I can tell you why they want to get rid of the Hells Angels. What I think. First of all, we're a virtual army. We're all across the country, and now we're in foreign countries also. And they have no idea how many of us there are.
Right.
We have money, many allies that are outlaw bikers that are not Hells Angels that would probably do anything we ask them to if something happened."
Ooh.
It's probably true on that one, too.
Damn. Barger and 17 of his co-defendants went on trial in the United States District Court for the Northern District of California at the San Francisco Federal Courthouse, beginning the 4th of October in 1979. The prosecution team representing the federal government attempted to demonstrate a pattern of behavior to convict Barger and the other members of racketeering offenses related to illegal weapons and drugs. According to United States Attorney William Hunter, the cornerstone of Hells Angels drug enterprise was large-scale manufacture and mass distribution of methamphetamine.
Meth. Prosecutors claim the Angels accumulated $160,000 per day in the street sales of the drug. Tim McKinley of the FBI stated that the case against the Hells Angels had been poorly prepared as the prosecution had taken convictions for Barger and the other Hells Angel leaders for granted. McKinley told the Canadian journalists Julian Schur and William Marsden, "The problem was the FBI, we didn't have any idea who was in the Hells Angels. I thought, this is weird. This may explain why we're not doing very well at the trial."
Right. Damn. The FBI had conducted no electronic surveillance of the Hells Angels, and the prosecution had no corroboration of what witnesses were testifying to at the trial.
Dude.
What the fuck is this?
Right now, they're doing all this stuff against the mafia,
Right.
all this electronic surveillance and stuff. Why would they not be doing it against these guys?
Wow. Isn't that crazy? The defense maintained that the club should not be held accountable for crimes committed by individual members.
It's probably true.
Barger himself admitted during the trial that he had used and sold narcotics in the 1960s, but asserted that his actions did not involve the Hells Angels. On the 2nd of July, 1980, following an 8-month trial in which 194 witnesses testified, a mistrial was declared when a jury failed to reach a verdict on counts against 18 of the defendants. Of the remaining 12, 9 were convicted, and 3, including Sonny and Sharon, were acquitted.
Acquitted altogether.
Oh, wow.
All right, over a 2-year period, starting 1980, the Melbourne chapter of the Hells Angels, led by Peter John Hill, shipped 300 liters of P2P, which is a chemical necessary to manufacture meth, or amphetamines, period, to the United States. Hill sent 2 cans of P2P per shipment that provided enough P2P to make $50 million worth of amphetamine.
Oh, shit.
Hill and the rest of the Melbourne charter received no share of the profits, and were told that this was their contribution to helping Barger and the other Hells Angels leaders pay the legal fees related to the RICO case. Like, you're helping us out, bro.
Wow. By 1978, the Angels had branched out from their home state of California and had additional U.S. chapters, which we said before: Nebraska, Massachusetts, Ohio, New York, Connecticut, North and South Carolina. Wow, and a couple were overseas. The Angels declared war on the Outlaws during a summit of various chapter presidents in Rochester, November 1978. Oh, shit. Barger allegedly ordered the Angels across the country to kill any outlaw they encounter on sight.
Murder them.
Damn. The feud between the two clubs began in April 1974 when 3 members of the Hells Angels Lowell chapter was murdered in South Florida on the orders of Outlaws leader James Big Jim Nolan. He did this in retribution for an outlaw being beaten by Hells Angels at a New Year's Eve party in New York. Damn.
Mm-hmm. According to the FBI, the Hells Angels and the Outlaws were engaged in a conflict over control of meth in the United States and Canada. Authorities accused the Angels of dominating the production of the drug in the U.S. Barger addressed such allegations by saying, I'm sure there are some individual Angels who sold methamphetamines, just like I'm sure some cops have sold some methamphetamine.
True.
I'm sure some of our members own guns, whether legal or not, and I'm sure the government makes a living off of us.
Can't deny anything there. Okay. Late 1970s, Barger, other senior Angels, ordered James Buddy Carronite, the president of the club's East Coast faction, to organize a peace conference with the outlaw leaders. Hey, at least they're trying. The supposed peace meeting, scheduled to be held in an eastern state, was in fact an opportunity for the Angels to assassinate their rivals' leadership, according to investigators. Having given his word to the Outlaws that they would be safe at the meeting, Carronite, who characterized himself as a man of honor, he reportedly warned away the Outlaws when he learned of the assassination plot. He's like, oh, shit.
The warning angered the Angels' hierarchy, and Carronite was demoted from his position as a national officer.
Oh, I bet. Surprised they didn't kill him.
All right. October 82, Barger was part of a larger group of Hells Angels from across the country who attended the murder trial of Jack-O-Lantern Gentry, who was a member of the club's Cleveland chapter, accused of shooting Outlaws member Ralph Realtime Tanner.
I bet I know why his nickname's Jack-O-Lantern.
Was he smiling all the time, or is he evil?
He has no teeth, probably.
Maybe, right. He shot Tanner behind the Outlaws' Toledo, Ohio clubhouse November 30th, 1980.
He did it at the Outlaws clubhouse? Right. Oh, shit. On the best day in history?
Cleveland Hells Angel turned government witness Clarence Crouch testified for the prosecution that Gentry had murdered Tanner as part of an initiation process into the Angels.
Oh, shit, huh? Trial took place in Lucas County Circuit Court, Toledo. Its city considered Outlaws territory. Barger and his Oakland contingent rented a house on Toledo Sylvania Street, and the Angels showed a significant presence in the city throughout the court case.
There's some balls on these guys, don't they?
I bet there's a lot of shit going on. Wearing their colors, the bikers rode their motorcycles past the residence of Assistant County Prosecutor James Bates. They visited the neighbors of jurors after obtaining a list of prospective jurors in the case. Ooh. And circled the courthouse in black bands with Hells Angels painted on the side. Holy shit, these guys.
A female juror was excused from duty after her son was threatened by a group of Hells Angels at a downtown Toledo bar that he would have lots of problems if his mother did not vote the right way.
Dude, you're only going to make it worse for yourselves.
When Gentry was acquitted after a 4-day trial, Barger sent invitations to the jurors to attend the party he threw for Gentry at a local Sheridan hotel.
Uh-huh.
He denied that jurors were intimidated by the Hells Angels' presence at the trial, saying, the only ones that are intimidated are the ones feds tell to be.
Ooh.
That's true, huh? 1983, he was diagnosed with throat cancer.
Oh, shit.
Temporarily handed control of the club over to his second-in-command, Michael Irish O'Farrell, while he received and recovered from treatment.
Oh, shit. I wonder if it was like chew or something.
Well,
he reportedly smoked 3 packs of Camel cigarettes per day for 30 fucking years. How do you smoke 3? I don't understand. I mean,
when you're up for 16 hours drinking.
It's true.
Every day.
Wow. 3 packs a day for 30 years. That is insane. His diagnosis and treatment took place at Fort Miley, Virginia. It was a hospital.
The VA hospital, man.
Yeah, VA hospital. Yeah. Fort Miley VA hospital in San Francisco. Having stage 3 laryngeal cancer, he underwent a total laryngectomy with bilateral functional neck dissections. Oh, what the fuck? Damn. Consequently, due to his vocal cords being removed, Barger learned to vocalize using the muscles in his esophagus. He subsequently wore a full-face motorcycle helmet to protect the hole in his throat when riding. Oh, man. He had one of those things.
Of course.
Barger later publicly advocated against smoking, saying, want to be a rebel? Don't smoke as the rest of the world.
I guess, yeah. Well, Anthony Taterhead Tate, the sergeant-at-arms of the Hells Angels chapter in Anchorage, volunteered to become a paid informant for the FBI in 1984.
What the fuck's the guy doing in Anchorage? I mean, I guess probably more meth than anything in the world.
commencing a 3-year nationwide organized crime drug enforcement task force.
You ever watch like Alaska PD or something like that?
I've watched
It's fucking insane.
Gangland, and they had a thing about Alaska, and there's surprisingly a bunch of street gangs in Anchorage.
Like Live PD, it's in Anchorage, and somewhere else, dude. It's like constant crime. I'm like, holy shit, dude. And these people are like, we gotta take a helicopter because we can't get to this place, or it's gonna be about 45 minutes on snowmobile. Jeez.
I mean, what else you got to do?
Right.
Commit crime and
smoke meth and steal alcohol.
All right. Travel in the country at government expense. Tate made documented purchase of firearms, explosives, and drugs from various Hells Angels chapters. He also covertly recorded club meetings by wearing a wire.
Oh, wow.
During one such meeting, Barger admiringly told Tate that he represented the Hells Angels of the 90s. He was clean-cut, articulate, and capable of carrying out club business.
Look at that.
Yeah, if you only knew.
Right. April 1986. Barger had a member of the Oakland Chapter, Terry Dalton, expelled for stealing. 14th of May, 1986. Barger had a photograph of Dalton issued to all Hells Angels chapters, along with note saying that Dalton was fucking up by socializing with the Hells Angels, especially with the members of the Vallejo chapter who were close to Dalton. Right. You should not even be talking to anybody.
Right. You're expelled, man.
Right. July 1986. Barger, who was very angry that the Vallejo chapter were still friends with Dalton, invited them to Oakland Clubhouse, where he had them all beaten. Holy shit. Tate, who was present during... So I guess like the Sons of Anarchy and the Mayans are somewhat accurate TV shows?
I would assume so.
Well, Tate, who was present during the beatings, he wrote this. Several people gathered, the Vallejo chapter president, Derek Kualapi, and took turns beating him. Oh, my. Tate described Barger as the man in charge of the beatings.
Sure he was. August 12th, 1986, John Cleve, J.C. Webb, call him J.C., a member of the Anchorage Hells Angels, was shot and killed by outlaws outside a biker bar in Jefferson County, Kentucky. Way all the way in Kentucky.
Right.
Prompting Barger to say that it was time to start killing outlaws again.
You ain't getting.
Barger sent a stolen copy of a government document prepared by the El Paso Intelligence Center, which contained the identities and personal data of outlaws members and associates via express mail to Webb's sister. That's why he was there. In Louisville. Shit. Who then turned it over to the Hells Angels members.
Oh, shit.
He also displayed another copy of the Epic Manual, which is the El Paso thing, and explained how to use it to fellow Hells Angels at an Oakland chapter meeting.
Oh, man. This guy, he wants to get shit done.
Why do you have to explain how to use it? You read the names?
Right. When another chapter member suggested calling outlaws to inquire whether Webb's killing was an isolated incident, Barger replied, call them collect.
I don't get that. What's that supposed to mean?
Right.
So they have to pay for the call or something?
I guess. He lent the Epic Manual to Tate for photocopying after Anchorage chapter president Edwin Hubert, who was also expressed retaliatory sentiment after Webb's killing, instructed Tate to acquire a copy of the manual in September 1986.
Mm-hmm. When Tate informed Barger in a phone conversation that the FBI was investigating the package he had mailed to Webb's sister, Barger proposed an alibi that the package contained sympathy cards. Barger also circulated a photograph of the two outlaws who killed Webb, firstly at an Oakland chapter meeting November 30th, and then again at a summit of West Coast chapter officers January 3rd, 87.
Oh, shit.
He and Tate discussed retaliation against outlaws on several occasions, and Tate encouraged Barger to travel to Alaska to provide guidance to the Anchorage chapter on retributive action? Retributive action?
Right.
Look at this Tate guy just setting everybody up.
Asshole. After Cleveland chapter president Kenny Yates, he was shot and wounded by outlaws in Joliet, Illinois on the 18th September 1987. Tate told Barger that he had been to Chicago and Milwaukee to carry out reconnaissance on outlaw clubhouses, and that he would require an alibi if he was to carry out an attack. To which Barger responded, that would be no problem. 18th of October, 1987. Tate informed Barger of a fictitious plot to bomb the Outlaws' Chicago headquarters, which he purported would likely kill 5 or 6 people. And Barger replied, that'll be really nice after that Juliet thing. A bomb just for 5 or 6 people. Come on, you want to get
small one?
50 or 60 of them bitches in there, right?
Well, Barger then made plans to provide an alibi for Tate. Between October 20th and 23rd, 1987, Michael O'Farrell periodically stayed in Hyatt hotel room booked by Tate and drove Tate's rental car. Tate called Barger on November 9, 1987, and reported that he had accomplished his mission. Operation Cacus, C-A-C-U-S, concluded on November 10, 1987, when, what was the operation? Didn't we say that? It was the operation that Tate was doing. When 38 Hells Angels members and associates in Alaska, California, Kentucky, North Carolina, and South Carolina were arrested on various narcotic weapons, explosives, and conspiracy charges.
Oh, shit. Well, Barger, he was among 13 people taken into custody in the Bay Area, where over 400 FBI, ATF, and California State Police personnel carried out 26 raids on homes and other properties, seizing more than 100 weapons, approximately $1 million in cash and drugs.
That's it?
And 3 meth labs.
Uh-oh.
Damn. 2 epic manuals and a homemade explosive device were discovered in Barger's home. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
By federal agents. Tim McKinley of the FBI gave orders to the FBI agents who arrested Barger to place his handcuffed hands behind his back, which the agents ignored and placed his hands in the front. Is there a reason for that?
McKinley joked to Schur and Marsden, who are agents, good help is so hard to get. Okay. As Barger was being marched into the FBI San Francisco office November 10th, 1987, Ted Baltas of the ATF approached Barger to take custody of him. Barger kicked him in the right knee and assaulted him.
Oh, shit.
When McKinley came to Baltas' aid, he in turn assaulted him.
Oh, shit.
Barger's last words to McKinley, a man he had hated, were, "Fuck you, McKinley, you're an asshole."
Oh, shit.
McKinley stated the trial was a desperate time for Barger, as he stated.
Oh.
When he gets scared and under pressure, he reverts to type. Cornered, trapped, he lashes out.
Ooh. Never back a dog into a corner.
Right.
A Hyatt hotel room key, handwritten note, deemed to have been written by Barger after evaluation by a handwriting expert, listing Anthony Tate's hotel room number and rental car license plate number, were also found at Michael O'Farrell's residence. While most of the Angels arrested in North Carolina were charged with North California were charged with drug offenses. Barger and O'Farrell were accused of conspiring to violate federal firearms and explosives laws.
Oh, please.
United States Attorney General Edwin Meese stated that Barger's arrest had averted 5 murders. Barger,
possibly.
Right. Barger was formally indicted on the 15th December 1987, along with 20 others.
Well, Barger and 9 other Angels from California and Alaska were extradited to Kentucky to stand trial for conspiring to transport firearms and explosives across state lines.
Oh, shit.
10 defendants went on trial at Louisville Federal Court beginning in July '88, accused of plotting to bomb the clubhouse of the Outlaws Louisville chapter located in the city's Portland neighborhood, which is in retaliation for the J.C. Webb killing. Barger was represented by defense attorney Stephen Miller, and Barger's wife worked on the defense team as a paralegal.
Oh, beautiful.
Around 100 Hells Angels wearing full colors attended the trial, as did the country singer Johnny Paycheck, who was a friend of Barger.
No shit. Johnny Paycheck.
Huh? What's he sing?
Wow. What you got there, Johnny?
70s is a force of country music's outlaw movement. You got any good songs, bud? Probably not.
Pardon me, I've got something to say. He's a Grand Ole Opry, remember? Take 6 job and shove it. Oh, that's what he's notable for, huh? I ain't working here no more.
So he piggybacked off of Hank, Waylon Willie, and Billy Joe Shaver, and Merle Haggard.
The U.S. Marshal Services provided security. And assistant United States attorneys assigned to the case were deputized by the marshals, allowing them to carry guns inside the courthouse.
Look at that shit.
Prosecutors asserted that the Angels were a highly organized criminal organization ruled by a code of silence.
Omerta.
Involved in drug trafficking, shootings, and bombings. Anthony Tate, the government's key witness, was housed in a safe house in Louisville, in a Louisville suburb of Prospect during the trial, where he was guarded by an FBI SWAT team. Damn, a whole SWAT team guarded his ass.
The defense team endeavored to expose the government's outrageous investigative conduct and discredit Tate, whom the government acknowledged was paid $300,000 in salary and expenses for the information he provided. Tate's estranged wife, Brenda Lee Fowler, gave evidence for the defense, calling her husband a liar, a scum, and a cheater.
Oh, shit.
And alleging that he dealt drugs. Wait. That's not the defense. The defense would be them, the Hells Angels.
Yeah, she's back in the Hells Angels. She said her husband's a piece of shit.
I get it. Oh, Tate's estranged wife.
Right.
Okay, I was thinking Barger's wife. All right. Tate's estranged wife, Brenda Lee Fowler, gave evidence for the defense, calling her husband a liar, a scum, and a cheater, and alleging that he dealt drugs. Leonard Cool Ray Mullen, the Outlaws member convicted of killing Webb, testified that... Oh, he was already convicted. Testified that he shot Webb over a personal feud and that there was no war between the Outlaws and the Angels.
He had to say that.
All right.
Well, he then also attested that the FBI had asked him to fake his own death in order to further their investigation against the Angels, to which he's like, hell no.
Fuck no.
Defendants shook hands with Mullen thanked him for his testimony.
Shook hands.
Oh, shit.
The defendants shook hands with Mullen.
Wow. Okay. That's weird.
So the Hells Angels did?
I guess.
Okay.
Wow. What's going on here, man?
All right.
Wow. Under a special arrangement approved by the United States District Judge Edward Johnstone, defense attorneys subpoenaed each of the co-defendants as witnesses, entitling them to per diem witness fees. Nice. The total cost of the case was estimated at $1 million. Barger reported celebrated his 50th birthday in the midst of the trial by partying and smoking marijuana at the home of Thomas Clay, Michael O'Farrell's lawyer. Mm-hmm. That was in Goshen, Kentucky.
Well, of course, why wouldn't you?
That lawyer's like, come on, guys.
Oh, he didn't care.
Right.
Following a 3-month trial, the longest ever in the history. 3 months was the longest ever in the history of Western District of Kentucky.
Oh, shit.
Barger and O'Farrell were indeed convicted October 28, 1988 on the felony charge of conspiracy to transport and receive explosives in interstate commerce with intent to kill and damage buildings.
Oh, shit.
Barger and 3 other defendants were also convicted on the misdemeanor charge of knowingly converting a copy of a government document, while 5 others were acquitted of all charges. He stated following his conviction, I think we won very handily in there.
Oh.
Just too bad that Irish and I were convicted, but we'll probably win with an appeal. I think it's a devastating blow to the government, and I couldn't be happier with the verdict, except if I had been found innocent myself.
Oh, wow.
I was just glad that everybody else got innocent.
What a positive guy. That guy. Oh, fantastic. 10th of March, 1989, Barger sentenced 57 months in prison. Federal Correction Institution in Phoenix, Arizona. He took up running for exercise in prison, saying, I'm slow, but I can go on forever. While in prison, Barger received dozens of requests for interviews every month, but continuously turned them down as he was collaborating with a screenwriter at the time to have his life story turned into a motion picture. And he was unwilling to compromise the commercial viability of this very project. He's like, hell no.
Okay. Christmas 1989, he sent one of the prosecutors in the case, who was Assistant U.S. Attorney Cleve Gamble, a card from prison showing him posing on a towel as if he were on the beach with the message, nice weather, wish you were here. As inmate 82740-011, he became to be fond of Arizona, as he later wrote, I dig the desert. It's the new California. It's wide and free.
Oh, no shit.
Barger appealed his convictions, contending that the government's investigative conduct had deprived him of his Fifth Amendment right to due process, that he had been incited to commit crimes by Anthony Tate and the government, and that the district court erred when it sentenced him pursuant to the Sentencing Reform Act guidelines. Yeah, I was just going to say that earlier.
Right.
This dude's like goading him into doing shit.
Right.
He came to him saying he wanted to bomb things.
So I got all this stuff going on. I need an alibi.
Ridiculous.
Wow. He said the government's case against him, in his own words, there never was a crime thought up by the Hells Angels. It was thought up by the FBI. It was paid for by the FBI. And I went to jail for it. That's the way it goes.
That's the way she goes, boys.
23rd of January, year 1991. The United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit upheld Barger's convictions, stating that the granting him amnesty would greatly intrude into the law enforcement and functions of executive branches of federal and state governments.
In other words, we need to do slimy, creepy, fucking dumb shit to get people behind bars because we're too dumb to catch them doing actual shit.
Wow.
The appeals court agreed with the government's position that its conduct was necessary due to the Hells Angels' violent history and rejected Barger's argument that the government had committed entrapment because it deemed the conspiracy to have been originated by the Hells Angels themselves. Okay. Furthermore, the appeals court ruled that the district court did not act in error to sentence Barger under the federal guidelines. Of course it did.
Barger, released from prison 6th November, year 1992, after serving 3.5 years of a 4-year sentence.
That's not bad.
All right, just take it. On the day of his release, Barger took a flight to Oakland International Airport, attended a homecoming party at the Mountain House, a bar at Ultimate Pass in Livermore, at which Johnny Paycheck performed.
Look at that.
Good for you, bud. To celebrate the end of his parole, he held another private party in Livermore on the 6th of November in 1994. He was only on parole for 2 years. And this was attended by approximately 700 people, including the politicians Gary Condit and Ben Nighthorse Campbell. Colorado State Senator Nighthorse Campbell had allegedly tried to use his influence to have Barger released from prison earlier.
That didn't work, did it?
Yeah.
Conflict between the Hells Angels and Outlaws saw a resurgence following Barger's release from prison as a result of his long-standing rivalry with Outlaws president Harry Taco Bowman.
Oh, shit.
Philip Reich of the Detroit Police Department Motorcycle Gang Unit described the feud as an ongoing thing over who had the better club. He also said it was like the Hatfields and McCoys. They hated each other. In an attempt to quell the increasing tensions between the clubs, Bowman twice hosted peace talks with Ventura Hells Angels president George Christie, who we'll get to coming up later on. He held that in Florida, firstly in December 92 and again in May of 93.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Look at that shit. According to Christie, he and Bowman, they were working towards a peace treaty when the Outlaws leader withdrew from negotiations. Christie believed Bowman was persuaded to abandon a truce with the Angels by one of his lieutenants, Kevin Spike O'Neill, who thought agreeing to a ceasefire would make the Outlaws appear weak and look like pussies. You might as well just ride Hondas.
Right.
In August 1993 in Paris, leaders of the Hells Angels and the Bandidos, they signed the Pact of Paris that divided up much of Europe between the two clubs.
Good for them, huh?
See, the Bandidos, they're smart.
Right. Well, Bowman allegedly placed a $100,000 bounty on Barger's life when he made a speech to hundreds of his followers on December 31st, 93, announcing an escalation of hostilities against the Hells Angels. Angel, come out and play. At the same time, Barger handled the outbreak of the Great Nordic Biker War in Scandinavia. Oh, we'll get to that as well. Early 94, Barger summoned Thomas Moeller, the president of the Angels Melmole chapter, to remind him that the Pact of Paris was a non-aggression pact.
Right.
A summit was held between the leaders of the Hells Angels Oakland Chapter and the Bandidos Houston Chapter, where it was agreed that the Bandidos would abide by the Pact of Paris, which had been signed Sweden to the Hells Angels. Oh, so Sweden... Hells Angels get to Sweden, huh?
Oh, shit, look at that. Look what's going on here. I like it. The attempts to avert a biker war in Scandinavia failed, largely because the Danish Bandino leader, Jim Tindand, kept trying to expand the Bandinos into Sweden, contrary to the Pact of Paris. And the American leaders of the Bandidos were unable to control Tindand.
What are you going to do, man?
I mean, he's fucking 15,000 million miles away.
Right, gotta kill him.
The Angels' December 1994 patchover of the Hells Henchmen biker gang in the Outlaws' home base of Chicago resulted in a number of shootings and bombings in Illinois. Oh, they took over.
Took over another gang and said the Hells Angels are in Chicago now, boys.
Nice.
Another New Year's Eve speech, December 31st, 94, Bowman declared that the Outlaws would in turn attack the Hells Angels in California.
Oh.
Team of
He's
Outlaws.
going right to the source.
Right. A team of Outlaws members were sent to California in early 95 to carry out surveillance ahead of the assassination of either Barger or Christie.
Oh, shit.
Although the Outlaws failed to kill either man, a number of Hells Angels' own businesses in Southern California were firebombed. Yeah, these fucking bikers love their firebombs.
Wow. 1997, government Denmark contemplated banning all outlaw biker clubs in response to the Great Nordic Biker War. To forestall this possibility, Barger attended the peace talks in Seattle, representing the Angels, along with Thomas Moeller, who was in charge of all the Angels in Europe.
He's like, hey, man, get a hold of your fucking people, will you? Well, it's really, it's the Bandidos being dicks.
Right. The Bandinos, who were represented by their international vice president, George Wiegers, Charles Jaws Johnson of the Houston chapter, and Jim Tindon, up with it. Yeah, they wanted to get him there.
Right.
Of the Helsingborg chapter. The meetings ended with the American leaders imposing a truce on their Scandinavian chapters, as neither the Bandinos nor the Angels wanted to see a biker ban. Like,
Right,
man.
obviously.
Like, Jim, can you fucking hold it together up there, man?
Jeez, dude, they're going to ban you all together. Then what are you going to do?
Right.
The Canadian journalist Yves Levine wrote that Barger's ability to impose a truce on the Scandinavian branches of the Hells Angels showed that his power over all the Hells Angels around the world was real, not nominal. And it was significant that he only took action in response to the possibility of a ban on outlaw biker clubs. Right.
Hey.
I mean, you're not going to do everything.
Right.
When that shit's like that, you got to step in and be like, okay,
All right, come
I'm
on,
fucking
man.
this shit down,
Come on.
guys.
I didn't steal this fucking group from a guy for no reason.
Right.
October 18th, 1997, 5-chaptered strong Dirty Dozen biker club of Arizona that got patched over to become Hells Angels.
Good for them.
Barger was keen to establish angel chapters in Arizona and quarter the Dirty Dozen, which, despite its name number, did not have a dozen, and they were dirty, but there was 120 of those dirty
Well, they had
bastards.
10 dozen.
Right. Barger quartered the Dirty Dozens for 5 years prior to the patch over. Damn.
Good for him, huh?
That's a hell of a court. Barger cut the period of time serving as prospects for the Hells Angels by half.
Good for him. They're like, you can get in sooner now.
What the fuck was the whole 5-year courting? That should have been the prospecting.
Right.
Should have instantly went in.
You would think.
The Dirty Dozen were described by the ATF agent Joe Slatala as the largest and most violent gang in the state.
Good for them. The Dirty Dozen had beaten off attempts by the Mongols, the Vagos, and the Devil's Disciples to establish chapters in Arizona.
Oh, shit, dude.
Barger praised the Dirty Dozen as friends and allies. The Angels' amalgamation of the Dirty Dozen was promulgated during a meeting in Oakland. Barger transferred over from the Oakland chapter to the newly formed Cave Creek charter in October of 98. He said, I'm going to Arizona, boys.
No shit. Look at that.
In 1999, Levine wrote, the Hells Angels obviously have big plans for Arizona. Sonny Barger would not pull up roots after 40 years in the Bay Area on a whim.
Right.
It's true. Talks of his retirement are premature. His move to Arizona will allow Hells Angels Ventura chapter president George Gus Christie to take over the political reins of the gang, but Barger will help legitimize the gang in the business world from the dry desert state.
Oh, wow.
The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club is Sonny Barger's life. He will retire only when he dies. He has nothing else to live for.
Who says that?
That is Levine. Avice Levine, a Canadian journalist.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Year. Nope. Barger's role within Arizona was reportedly an advisory position. He did not hold officer status, and he rarely attended rallies or public events for the Angels. He founded a motorcycle repair company in Arizona named the Big Red Machine, a reference to a popular nickname for the Hells Angels.
Look at him, just retiring down to Arizona.
And get a bike shop. Fuck yeah. Barger was later a member of the Yavapai County chapter.
Oh, jeez.
Cher and Marston, they wrote that by 2002, Barger was a figurehead, relinquishing day-to-day decisions to many of his underlings. He's
just
still the
there.
boss. He
Right.
just ain't doing shit.
In 1998, peace talks were opened to end the long-standing biker war with Outlaws, which was largely because the conflict was bringing down too much police pressure on both clubs.
Right.
Mel Chansey, the president of the Hells Angels Chicago chapter, served as their lead negotiator, met with Barger in the spring of 98 to discuss the negotiating terms. Talks began July 18th in the Copacabana Strip Club in the Illinois town of Alsip, with Edward Shock Anastas, who was president of the Outlaws Milwaukee chapter, serving as their lead negotiator.
Oh, shit. Under the terms that Chansey and Anastas struck, the status quo was preserved as the Angels recognized Chicago as within the territory of the Outlaws in exchange for being allowed to keep their chapters in Chicago suburbs. In the suburbs,
Right.
yeah. You guys can have the city. We just want the burbs. The agreement was applied to Canada as well, with the Outlaws agreeing to provide no assistance to the Rock Machine in return for peace with the Hells Angels in the United States.
Must be some war going on in Canada right now against the Rock Machine.
Wow. Barger attended the last negotiating session with the Outlaws between January 23rd and the 25th in 1999 in Indy. Where in a joint press conference with Anastas, it was warned that any outlaw or angel who violated the peace agreement would be dealt with.
Yeah, this is a press conference, too.
We.
In 2000, Barger became a best-selling author with his autobiography, Hells Angel, The Life and Times of Sonny Barger and the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club,
Fantastic.
which was co-written with Keith and Kent Zimmerman. In that autobiography, he divided the history of the Hells Angels into 4 eras, namely the first era, 50s and 60s, characterized by drug use and sex. The second era in the 70s, characterized by organized crime. Third era in the 80s, which he depicts as a period of persecution by the U.S. government. And the fourth era, which was the 90s, which he characterized as a return to the original values from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you got to go full circle, right?
Right.
Got to go through all the emotions to be great. Now you can move forward, guys. He wrote several biker-related novels as well. Barger's 21st Century books represented a change of image, as Cher and Marston noted that his earlier writings in the 20th century had glorified and self-congratulatory tales of rapes and murders, while his later books present himself as a more family-friendly guy.
He's getting old now.
Right. Yeah. A reviewer in the Los Angeles Times on the 21st of April 2002 called Barger the writer of romantic tales of hell and heck-raising. Later years, Barger worked up to promote motorcycle safety. He co-authored, I mean, you always got to be safe on a motorcycle, no matter if you're a bad man or not.
Right.
He co-authored a book on the subject with Darwin Holmstrom. Oh, sweet, huh? The author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Motorcycles, which is in 1998. And it was titled Let's Ride, Sonny Barger's Guide to Motorcycling in 2010.
Right. In terms of pure workmanship, personally, I don't like Harleys. I ride them because I'm in the club, and that's the image. But if I could, I would seriously consider riding a Honda ST 1100 or a BMW.
Yeah, it's a smoother.
We really missed the boat not switching over to the Japanese models when they began building bigger bikes. I'll usually say, fuck Harley Davidson. Ralph Sonny Barger, Hells Angel.
Yeah, Harleys was so rough to ride.
Uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, you get on a Honda, dude, and it's like a freaking so comfy. August 2000, Barger visited the United Kingdom to promote his book, despite advice from the police for the Home Office to deny him a travel visa under the grounds that he had a criminal record. Barger was allowed entry under the grounds he was no longer a threat to public order. Right. He was like, come on, look at this guy. What's he going to do? He drew large crowds for his British book signing tour. The media reaction was largely favorable. The Daily Telegraph called him a legend.
A legend.
The Times of London wrote that Barger was affable, big-hearted, very warm. The Independent stated that Barger was an American legend.
Good for him.
Loved worldwide.
Right. Barger was present at the Hellraiser Ball, a tattoo and motorcycle trade exposition in Plainview, New York, which was sponsored by the Long Island Charter of the Hells Angels, which was ambushed by dozens of members of the rival Pagans gang.
Oh, shit.
On February 23rd, 2002, resulted in one biker being killed and at least 10 injured.
Oh, man.
A Hells Angels member was charged with second-degree murder, and 73 Pagan members were indicted on federal racketeering charges in the aftermath of the incident.
Holy shit.
Jeez.
Wow. Increasing tensions between the Angels and other motorcycle clubs led to Barger organizing a peace conference. And he's like, damn, I thought we were done with this shit.
All right.
This was scheduled to be held in the Arizona desert following the April 2002 Laughlin River Run, which was a motorcycle rally in Laughlin, Nevada. The meeting was canceled as a result of a River Run riot. Damn, they call it a case of the River Run riots. A confrontation between members of the Hells Angels and the Mongols at the rally, which ended with 3 deaths. Damn. About the Laughlin River Run riot, which put the Hells Angels and the Mongols on the front page of the New York Times, Barger stated, "Publicity has always been good for the Angels."
Say no bad thing is publicity. All publicity is publicity.
Oh, good.
No such thing as bad publicity.
No such thing as bad publicity.
July 14th, 2002, Barger called the police to say that he had beaten his wife. Beth Noel Barger so badly that she is paralyzed and cannot move. Barger stated that he and his wife were fighting over a slut, as Beth called his mistress. Barger in his 911 call said, "She tried to pull a gun on me and I kicked her and she says she can't move."
Oh, shit.
Jeez. Barger then changed his story when the police arrived and said that his wife was merely going for a gun that was hidden in her car when he kicked her. Beth Noel Barger stated that Barger had attacked her while she was sitting in a patio chair and denied going for a gun at all. A doctor's report revealed that Beth had suffered a broken rib, a broken back, and a lacerated spleen. Beth also stated Sonny had beaten her before, but she never reported it. March 6, 2003, Beth Noel Barger called the police to accuse Barger of beating her up along with her 13-year-old daughter, Sarah, by a previous marriage. One of the sheriff's deputies in his notes of the incident wrote, "Sonny Barger admitted to me that he did physically grab his wife by the arms and possibly by the throat."
While Noel was being treated for her injuries, hospital that very night, told FBI agent Steve Smith that Barger had a Star 9mm semi-automatic handgun at his ranch, which would be a violation of Arizona law, which forbade felons from owning guns. Pretty much everywhere, right?
Right.
Noel also claimed to have been paid $1,000 to become a confidential informant for the FBI, but gave conflicting and confusing statements. A gun matching the description provided by Noel was found on the Barger ranch, but it remained unclear who was the owner of the gun. Still, so what? Shouldn't have been there, right?
Right.
March 11th.
Didn't that happen already?
Somewhere, right? March 11th, 2003, a hearing was held to decide if there was enough evidence to even go to trial.
However, there was no evidence beyond the statements of Noel that the gun belonged to Barger.
Right.
Barger's lawyer, Brian Russo, during his cross-examination of the FBI agents, he established the FBI never dusted the gun for Barger's fingerprints.
Oh, no.
When the judge asked the prosecutor as to what was the reason why the gun had never been dusted, he received the reply, "I do not. Anything sounds like an excuse." Right. The judge dismissed the case under the grounds there was no reliable and credible evidence. Jay Dobbins, an agent for the ATF, met Barger in Arizona while he was serving undercover in 2003.
He told Shar Madison he's the shot caller, the deal broker. His reputation precedes him, so when people talk to him, they know who they're talking to. Without a doubt, you know that he's the guy. He's very personable. He's charming. You can see how he developed this club. He's a politician. He's a salesman. He also stated he's not a big guy, not a physically threatening guy, but he's got this charismatic leadership personality that allowed him to build this club. When you talk to him, when you speak to him, he makes you feel that there is nothing going in his life except a conversation with you. Aww.
Good for him.
Yeah, right. He makes you feel important. Like he is personally interested in you.
Dude fell in love with him.
Yeah, fucking Dobbins. All right.
Jeez. Many of the younger Hells Angels resented Barger for the way he became a rich man by selling his books and paraphernalia.
Oh, shit.
Dobbins stated that Barger was unpopular as the feeling within the Hells Angels were all he's concerned with is promoted himself, his books, his movies, his products.
Oh, wow.
Papers filed in court after Barger's wife, Noel, filed for divorce, revealed that Barger made $330,000 in royalties from the sale of his autobiography in 2001, $340,000 in 2002, and $230,000 in 2003. Damn.
Fantastic, right? No shit. Well, he also received $150,000 from 20th Century Fox Studio, which purchased the film rights for his autobiography. Oh, shit. One police officer stated that the Angels leader in California disliked the way that Barger refused to step aside, as he said, "You can't be the heir apparent if Sonny continues to keep calling the shots and running things." Sonny didn't leave, and people are still in battle with that. Why should he have to? It's his fucking place. It's his shit. You don't get no money for the trademark use and all that shit, too?
Maybe.
A number of other Hells Angels leaders, such as George Christie, the powerful president of the Ventura chapter, were described by Scher and Marston as rivals who were waiting for Barger to just die
already. Geez.
Right.
March 22nd, 2003, Daniel
They'll give you this big
Hoover.
funeral and, you know, just go.
You're done.
Right, just go.
March 22nd, 2003, Daniel Hoover Saber, the president of the Hells Angels Cave Creek chapter, to which Barger belonged to, was moited.
Oh, shit.
At the time, Barger told the media, "I'm just going to miss him. He put the club before anything else in his life." When Barger learned that Operation Black Biscuit, as the ATF operation against the Arizona Hells Angels, had been codenamed, he accused the police of killing Saber, as he maintained that Saber was hostile towards Dobbins.
Oh, shit.
After Saber's murder, Barger rarely appeared in public for several years afterwards, without Louis Valdez, who was a sergeant-at-arms of the Cave Creek chapter, as his bodyguard.
Oh, shit.
He said, "These motherfuckers try to kill me, too."
Oh, wow. Together with his lawyer, Frizz Clapp, Barger owned and managed Sonny Barger Productions, which was a media firm designed to promote his image. Clapp told Scher and Martin in 2005, "When we were in Europe, he was greeted like the Pope. Limos at the airports. Anything we wanted. It was a great time." When Scher and Martin, in an interview, asked Barger about his involvement in the Angels Outlaws Biker War, the Great Nordic Biker War, and the Quebec Biker War, he said this: "I didn't know anything about the Biker Wars. I've never been involved in one, and therefore I cannot talk about it."
Well, good for him. Barger married his fourth wife, Zorana, on June 25th, 2005, and remained married to her until his death. He had no biological children. 2010, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Oh, man.
Underwent surgery in
throat
2012.
cancer, prostate cancer. Shit.
In 2012, his prostate was removed, and he was subsequently declared free of cancer. Marsden and Scher,
Just a big old bag on his side.
described Barger as a deeply dishonest man, as they noted he had conviction of conspiracy to murder members of the Outlaws in '88, which in their view counted as involvement in a biker war.
Dude, this dude had a bag in his fucking belly, a hole in his throat.
And a bitch by his side. Marsden, they described Barger as a man who wanted to promote his image as an outlaw and was clearly uncomfortable with their questions about crimes involving being an outlaw.
Right. 30th November 2010, Barger made a guest appearance at Dang's birthday party. November 30th, 2010, Barger made a guest appearance as Lenny the Pimp Janowitz on the season 3 finale of FX television series Sons of Anarchy.
Really?
I never watched the series, so I wouldn't even know.
Hi, dude.
This series is, if you guys don't know what Sons of Anarchy is, it's a fictional outlaw motorcycle club.
Everybody knows what Sons of
Allegedly
Anarchy
based
is.
on Hells Angels. Show creator Kurt Sutter spent time with Barger and other members of Hells Angels researching for the show and acted opposite Barger in this scene.
Oh, he's in it too. Okay.
Barger returned on November 29, 2011, in the season 4 finale, part 1. This is his third appearance on Sons of Anarchy was during season 5, episode 10, which aired on November 13, 2012.
Okay, good for him.
Cool.
One novel written by Barger, Dead in 5 Heartbeats, was made into an independent film in 2013, which Barger and his fourth wife, Zorana, produced and appeared in bit part roles. The film was promoted as having been rejected from the Sundance Film Festival and every other film festival it was submitted to because it was probably terrible.
Right.
A biopic of Barger's life was also in development for several years, with director Tony Scott attached to the project at one point.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Barger left Arizona October 2016, returning to Oakland Chapter. Well, he's like, I'm back. They're like, oh, fuck.
I know, they're like, motherfucker, just
Die. Right. He remained a popular figure both in the United States and abroad. May 2017, when Barger visited Paris to promote a French translation of his autobiography, he attracted huge crowds of fans to the Paris clubhouse of the Hells Angels for the book signing. The Norwegian anthropologist Teresa Ostebo Cordova described Barger as a man who had turned himself into a brand, having become a global icon who symbolized a very ruggedly tough, macho definition of American masculinity, which explained the large crowds of Parisians who wanted him to autograph copies of his autobiography. Why are Parisians Parisians? Paris people?
Obviously.
People of Paris?
May 3rd, 2018, Barger testified in the racketeering trial of former Bandidos National President Jeffrey Fay Pike and former Vice President Xavier John Portillo after being called as a defense witness by lawyers for Pike.
Okay.
Oh, he testified for them. Huh?
Nice.
Unable to travel to the trial in San Antonio due to medical reasons, Barger testified via video from the federal courthouse in San Francisco, denying that the Hells Angels and the Bandidos were enemies. Barger's testimony challenged earlier assertions by the government witnesses who testified that Anthony Benesh, a motorcyclist who was shot dead in Austin in 2006 after attempting to establish a Hells Angels chapter in the city, was killed by Bandidos members because he ignored the club's warnings to not set up a chapter in Texas. Oh, so look at this guy even helping out other groups. I mean, what do you talk about? We don't even care.
Yeah, right. By this point, dude, you're never going to kill it. Hells Angels is too big. Well, Barger, he continued to keep a low profile in his final years through his 81st birthday. The numbers 8 and 1 are used by the Hells Angels referred to their corresponding letters of the alphabet, H and A. It was celebrated in a major event hosted at the Oakland Chapter Clubhouse on October 2019. Damn, probably their only ever member to hit 81.
Right. Well, George Christie, but we'll get to him. He's not allowed to associate with them.
All right, June 29th, 2022, Barger, dead, liver cancer. Damn.
I don't know, motherfucker. He's got all sorts of shit.
Shit.
83, though. I mean,
wow. He did that at his home in Livermore, California, at age 83. His death was announced in a Facebook post reading this. If you are reading this message, you know that I'm gone. I've asked that this note be posted immediately after my passing. I've lived a long, good life filled with adventure, and I've had the privilege to be a part of an amazing club. Although I've had a public persona for decades, I have mostly enjoyed a special time with my club brothers, my family, and close friends. Please know that I passed peacefully after a brief battle with cancer. For the third time.
Right.
Third time's a charm, cancer said. Gotcha, motherfucker. But also...
one way or another, motherfucker.
Right. But also know that in the end, I was surrounded by what really matters. My wife, Zerona, as well as my loved ones. Keep your head up high.
And others.
Yeah. Keep your head up high. Stay loyal. Remain free. And always value honor. Signed, Sonny. Hells Angels Motorcycle Club Organization.
July 2022, the Hells Angels made a request to hold a memorial service for Barger at the Oakland Coliseum in East Oakland the following month. Instead, Barger's funeral was held at a motorsports racetrack in Stockton on September 24, 2002.
Holy shit.
22. Estimated 7,000 people attended, and the event was peaceful.
Oh, that's nice.
Former Fox News host Tucker Carlson spoke at the funeral.
Oh, shit.
Carlson said that he'd been a fan of Barger since his college years, quoted Barger as saying, "Stay loyal, remain free, and always value honor," and added, "I want to pay tribute to the man who spoke those words."
Oh, beautiful.
Barger was laid to rest at Sacramento Valley National Cemetery in Dixon.
Well, look at you, bud. Who knows if you're actually a decent man in your last years, but could have been a bad, bad man behind closed doors still.
Of course he was a bad, bad man his whole life. You don't just become a good, good man after murdering and shit for your whole fucking life.
Well, Sonny Barger, huh?
Yeah.
Motherfucker made it big time, and his members got pissed. Like, look at this fucking guy.
Right. Instead of doing himself.
Right. Why not just do the whole thing?
Club. Start selling Hells Angels merch and fucking all that shit.
Asshole.
Share with the people.
Right. He felt sorry for himself because he had a hole in his throat. Who's got this? Me. Nobody got it. Nobody. I got it.
Did what you fucking made up. That'll do it for us. Yeah, it's the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club.
Company. Organization.
HMC. Oh, so he did the O as an organization because it's an organization. Samco. That's what they call them in Sons of Anarchy. Samco. Sons of Anarchy Motorcycle Club Organization. Samco. Yeah. Oh, the O is Oakland. Right. Hells Angels Motorcycle Club Oakland. That's what the Hamco was. Because Sons of Anarchy, it's Samco. But Sons of Anarchy Motorcycle Club Originals. Original Redwood Charter. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Next month's Hells Angel episode is going to break down the plethora of criminal incidents involving the Hells Angels and various crimes they committed in the United States.
That ought to be fun. I'm guessing a lot of drugs and...
We're going to go pretty much state by state, There's a lot of them.
Violent, fucking domestic violence and shit. I bet.
As we stated before, California has its own section because that's how much shit they've done there.
Battery.
And then next week's episode of Outlaws and Gunslingers, though, is going to be another remastered edition, which it'll either be Sam Bass or Black Bart Bowles, I think.
Black Bart Bowles.
One of those two. So we'll remaster that.
Black Bart.
And then our serial killer one, which is going to be the end of the month. Maybe we'll do a big popular guy.
Did we ever do Bass Reeves before?
Nope.
Wow.
Maybe we'll do him, but he was more, I guess, I did say we do policeman as well.
He's a gunslinger.
Right. So yeah, that'll do it for us. Go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network, or if you're just listening on Spotify, Apple, or any podcast, give us a review, share us with your friends, answer that Spotify question, and we'll see you next week for it'll be an OS of some sorts remastered. So we'll see you then. We are the Mother Music Industry.
Bang Dang.